Hey guys, it's me, Natalie Cousins. Hope that you're having an awesome and amazing day. Welcome to the Six Figure Real Estate Agent Podcast. I'm your host, and we have a phenomenal guest on today. I am honored to be speaking with Sarah Lowe. She is a cast member of the show Selling It in the A on WeTV, and she's also an associate broker at Coldwell Banker. So welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and thank you so much for carving out time out of your busy schedule, because we know what it's like being a mom, being a realtor, all of that stuff. So thank you so much. You know, I created the Six Figure Real Estate Agent podcast for inspiring agents, current agents or existing agents who are looking to give up, to hear inspiring stories of others and to keep them motivated. And I know that depending on where they're at right now, some of them are probably thinking, I've heard it all. But I've been watching you online for quite some time. I then had the opportunity of starting to watch you on a show. And at the end of the day, the journey's not easy. The game is not easy, but everyone has a story to tell of how they have pressed through and what it is that they do to get through this game that we call real estate.
Right.
So my first question before we dive into that is, what were you doing prior to real estate?
Okay, so prior to real estate, I moved to Atlanta in 2007. I'm from the Macon, Georgia area. And at that time, my daughter was little. She was only 3 years old. I didn't know anyone in Atlanta, but I was teaching aerobics at assisted and independent living communities in the central Georgia area. And I said, you know what? Atlanta is a bigger market. So back then I took out the yellow pages and I started going through looking at all the different facilities that were in Atlanta. And I just got on the phone, and I didn't know what cold calling was. I never had any kind of training in sales or anything like that. But now that I look back at it, I'm like, oh, wow, I was doing my own cold calling. I created my own little script. And I knew that if I could sell that person over the phone and land an interview with them to meet them face to face, that when I met them, that I'd get the gig. So prior to real estate, I was teaching aerobics to assisted and independent living communities. And then I brought my business up here to Atlanta in 2007. And, you know, things were going great. And then the market crashed. But, you know, we all went through that. But that's when I transitioned into real estate. Was, you know, I had all of these connections in these assisted independent living communities. And even though the market was tough, there were nothing but short sales and foreclosures at that time. I knew that all these old folks had a need to sell a property in order to live in these communities. So that's how I started getting business, was through them. But yeah, I used to teach aerobics at assisted.
Well,
yeah.
And that's how you keep your good figure going on, because it's just
well, now that I'm full-time in real estate, it's a little tougher. I'm not teaching aerobics anymore.
But don't you love how you were able to take one skill from something that you were doing in the past and how you pulled it into your present? So you started in this journey in 2007, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, well, no, I came into Atlanta in 2007. I actually got licensed. I became a licensed real estate agent in 2010.
2010.
So it took a few years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 8 years, 9 years ago, which is just shy of a decade, which is phenomenal. Right? And so you're a mom. What made you, besides the fact that you knew you had a niche, what was the driving force that pushed you to say, you know what, I'm going to go study, I'm going to go write, and I'm going to become an agent?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. It's just something I've always done my own thing, very independent. But I became an agent for a few reasons. Number one, financial freedom. There's no cap on the amount of money that you can make in real estate. It's directly related to the amount of work you actually put in.
Yes.
So financial freedom was the first one. The second one was the flexibility in hours. I'm a single mother, have been a single mother since my daughter was born. And I needed something that was flexible in the schedule, you know, because if I need to pick up my daughter from gymnastics, I need to be there. If I need to pick her up, you know, because she's sick, I need to be there. If I need to join a networking group to meet other, you know, people, I need to be there. And then the third reason was real estate is a product. And when I was selling my services to assisted and independent living communities, that was also a product. So I thought to myself, if I can sell this $50 aerobics class, $100 aerobics class, why not take that up a notch and sell a product that's worth even more? Yeah. So, we're all in sales, whether you're a mother, a stay-at-home mother, working at a car wash, wherever you're at, we're all in sales and we're always selling a product. And so for me, real estate is a product that's most people's most valuable asset. Why not sell it?
I love it. And so as you passed and you got the licensing, I find that a lot of questions that are coming up for new agents is, what broker should I go with? They start going into the groups that I minister to and things like that, and they want to know what they should look out for a broker. Mm-hmm. So you came with the sales and the business drive. What was your deciding factor on picking your broker?
I just wanted somebody that was going to be there. A lot of times when you're first licensed in the business, you feel like you should know everything, and you don't. I mean, what you learn in real estate school is not really what it's like in real life, as you know. So, I went on a few different interviews with different brokerages, and that's what I always encourage new agents to do. In the real world, people are, most jobs are interviewing you. Yes. But in real estate, it's flipped a little bit. You are actually interviewing them. It has to be a fit on both sides.
Yes.
So I did 3 or 4 interviews at different brokerages and ultimately fell in love with my broker here at Coldwell Banker, because I really felt that she had my back and the educational opportunities that were there within the company being a new agent.
Yes. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. And so you went in right off the bat being a mom, which for some like myself, baby not planned, you have to kind of morph in, but you came in being a mom. So right. Talk about other agents who might be a mom who might be saying, I can't do this, or, there's just not enough hours in the day. And
there are, I'm a single mother since day one, and I live in a city in Atlanta where I have no family. Mm-hmm. So I have had to find all the connections all on my own. So if I can do it, and I'm from a little small town and I don't have any support, in this city, but I found a way to find support and create that support. If I can do it, anybody else can. When I was first in the business, I took my daughter with me, on certain, appointments. Not all of them. If I have a $3 million listing appointment, I'm probably not going to bring her along, but just there were certain times that I could, like, if I were previewing a condo and I knew the owners weren't going to be there, bring my daughter along, and show her that, show your children what you're doing, make them a part of it. My daughter used to when I was first in the business, my daughter used to distribute flyers for me in our condo building.
Yeah.
It was fun for her to do, and it's a way for her to get involved. Yeah. So, like I said, if I can do it and I don't know anyone around here, anybody can do it.
That's what we want to hear, because I find that the brain is always, first of all, we sell ourselves so many negative self-talks, but the brain is always our brain, for whatever we store in our subconscious, is always trying to talk us out of doing the one thing that could give us our next break. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I can't find someone to watch the kids, or I'm not going to go today because, I don't want I don't want to trot the kids along. Mm-hmm. And prior to kids, I was the type of person that would be like, oh my God, that person brought their kid. But then I was in Atlanta and I didn't have a sitter, and, we'd be showing houses, and I'll tell you right now.
There's a fine line, I understand both sides of it. I understand that sometimes it could look inappropriate.
Yes.
So I get that side of it. You just have to really determine when you shouldn't be doing it. If you have to pay your neighbor $10 or $20 to watch your child for you while you Zoom to an appointment and come back.
Or a system where, one hand washes the other. You get to know somebody trustworthy in the neighborhood. So I'm glad that you are able to share that for those who might be able to resonate with the story. And so let's fast track. You're in the business 8 years now, 9 years. Mm-hmm. What keeps you going right now in the industry?
I would say it's my daughter. My daughter is the number one reason, that keeps me going. I think that's most parents.
Yes.
And, I come from a very large family. There's 8 of us total. And our father was an electrician. He didn't have much money, and so we didn't have, a lot, but what we did have was our family and was our love, and I just want to be able to give that to my daughter. I want to travel with her. I want to show her the world, and the financial freedom that this career has created for me, or that I have created within this career. I'm able to do all of that.
And so what were some of the biggest fears when you started in this industry that came up for you that are no longer a fear right now?
Number one, there's 1,000 other agents in this business, just in the city of Atlanta alone, and it can be a little bit intimidating when you first start, because you're like, well, how am I going to stand out, amongst these thousands of agents and really compete in this market? You got to stop thinking like that. You got to think, you know what? I'm only competing with myself. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to focus on a certain area. And just go after that area. Just focus on that particular, neighborhood or that niche market.
Okay. And so you found your way through it, because you definitely stand out. So my next question is going to be, and I don't ask everyone this, but I feel that I can ask you, what do you say is your superpower in this industry in terms of, from getting up in the morning to going to bed at night, being a mom? What's your superpower?
My superpower would be, what is my superpower? Just my energy. I just have a lot of energy. I've always had a lot of energy. I like success. I like challenges. So yeah, just my overall energy, just, getting through the day.
I like that. And what I also like about you, from time to time, if you find yourself saying something negative, you instantly correct it with positive.
You
So
have
that's what I love about you. Yeah.
You have to. I attend a lot of, in my free time, I attend a lot of workshops. I'm a huge Tony Robbins seminar follower. Jesse Itzer, Sarah Blakely, Grant Cardone. So I think it's important, in those down times, to really go to those seminars, just immerse yourself and just change your way of thinking.
Yeah, I like that. I noticed that with you, that you're able to click the switch.
Mm-hmm.
And so you do a lot of commuting. We were just talking about the long drives and stuff like that. I'm a music person. So my father's a welder by trade, but he's a disc jockey, on the side, or whatever you want to call it. And so if you were to call me on a Saturday, I'm telling you, all genres of music play. But the era of music for me is the 90s.
Okay.
So my question for you is, what's your favorite 90s jam?
Oh, that's a tough one. All right. Have you heard of the Cranberries?
Yes, I've heard of the Cranberries.
I love the Cranberries. What's that song? Dream. And then anything Ace of Base.
Oh my gosh. So for me, for Ace of Base is I Saw the Sign.
I Saw the Sign, and Don't Turn Around.
Don't Turn Around. And I know Coldplay came out a little bit later, but I'm into Coldplay. So I always tell people, listen, I can drive from Toronto to Atlanta, and it is a 20-hour drive. You're going to get every genre of music you could possibly think of. And guess what? I've never been to karaoke.
Oh my gosh, you need to.
I've got to go. I've got to go.
Another big one, anything Jay-Z. I love Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Okay, well, that's cool too.
When I was on the show, part of our requirement on the show, after our shows would air, we would have to blog about the episode. And you'll go back and look at my blogs, and every blog that I have, I throw in a Jay-Z quote in there somewhere.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
One of them was, men lie, women lie, money don't lie.
Money don't lie. Yeah, I love that. And
numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. But what I love about that is, there is a song. It's my parents are Jamaican and my husband's Jamaican. There is a song that says there's a quote in the song that says, life is one big road with a lot of signs. Right? So what I like about music is you never know what the person's thinking. And us as agents, I was supposed to have a closing Friday. it didn't happen, right? And so you say to yourself, okay, what was this? I take that song and I'm like, okay, what was the sign in that one?
Yep. What did you
And I try not to beat myself up. And I, so music is very therapeutical for me. And so like you did the blogs and you referred to all of those quotes. If the person doesn't know that it's Jay-Z, they're thinking, oh my God, that quote is phenomenal, right? It's just what the words bring, putting it on paper and reflecting with your situation. So I love that. And so if you could be any animal in the world, what animal would you be?
Probably it's split between two. I would either be a dolphin because I love to swim and everybody loves dolphins, or I would be my dog because my dog is so spoiled. His name is Guacamole, and he is the spoiledest little dog, and he has an amazing life. Yeah.
You're gonna have to send me a picture of him so I can put it on the blog. That's awesome that you said a dolphin. And the thing about it is they're always so happy, always so full of spirit. And then you go down further south a lot. So I can see why that would be. Totally. And so I think that the funniest thing that happened to me recently was, my daughter sitting right here at this desk. I come in from cooking one day and she's imitating me. Just like you said, you have a daughter. I'm not sure her age, but what is one of the funniest things that has happened with you and your daughter over the last couple of weeks that you can remember, or just overall in your
let me think. I guess just the transition between preteen to teen and thinking I'm still just the coolest mom in the world, Recently, she's 15 years old. She'll be 16 this year. Okay. And anywhere she goes, I'm like, are the parents there? Who are they? I need to talk to them, yada, yada, yada. So I recently let her go to a teen nightclub.
Ooh, they have those out there?
Sometimes, yeah. And so they had like a little special teen nightclub. And I was like, okay, I'll take you there. I said, but I'm going to walk and make sure, there's security and yada, blah, blah. And so we get there and my daughter and her two friends hop out and I hop out. They're like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to go meet the security and everything. And so they're so embarrassed. They go to the back of the line. They see me going to the front of the line. And I said, come on. And so they came with me. And then I talked to the security and I gave all the security guards like $20 each. I was like, make sure you keep an eye on this one. All these kids, and they were just so embarrassed. And I was just like, But what they learned? They got to skip to the front of the line. And so they were actually happy about it in the end.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My mom did that to me. I was going out at a very early age, but she would tell me all the things. Here's your drink money. Make sure you don't do this. Make sure that you don't do that. And I can tell you, because my mom did that, it made me very street smart. Right. And it prepared me for all the hocus pocus that was out there. So you're doing a great job.
She's going to be 21 years old trying to go to a club and know that she can just go to the front line and give the,
Yeah, or walk with her own money so that she doesn't have to wait for someone else to buy it for her.
Exactly. Yeah, she's very, very independent. She's been taught very well.
Very well. Awesome. And so let's talk about what you have coming up in the next couple of months. What's happening in your world?
Okay. Let's see. So I have a book club that I'm doing, and it has been so much fun. It's not your normal book club. It's a motivational book club. And so the past couple of months, we've just met at a couple restaurants here and there, just bouncing ideas, what we've learned from the book, what we, agree with, don't agree with, just our takeaways from the book. This month, we're actually going axe throwing. Yeah, I've never done it before. It sounded like something fun, very therapeutic, and we're just gonna give it a whirl and see how it is. But that's the kind of book club we're doing. We're not just sitting around the table talking about this month of Edgar Allan Poe or anything. We're really having fun and staying motivated and keeping the energy high. And what'd you get out of this book? What'd you get out of that book? So that's book club. We have one book a month, and it is a motivational book. This month it's Capital Gains by Chip Gaines. So that's our March read. So every month it changes. And then I also have I'm going to be doing some seminars this summer. I don't have the date set in stone yet, but we're going to do some, new agent seminars and some different seminars for, even those seasoned agents out there.
Yes, love it, love it. And so you'll keep me posted on that so I can keep
For sure.
my community posted. So
Mhm.
let's tell them how they can get in touch with you. Although I will place the links in the feed, but tell us
Okay.
how we can get a hold of you.
All right. So social media, all the above is Sarah Sells ATL. So that's Sarah with an H. Sarah Sells ATL. And then my website, which has all of my contact info, is sarahloweestates.com.
Got it. And so, like I said, I created this podcast for anyone who's sort of apprehensive about continuing with their career in this game that we call real estate, which it is a game.
Mm-hmm.
What words of advice, last words of advice, can you leave to motivate an individual who is done, but
Okay.
you feel like you could save them at this point?
Right. Just know that if it were easy, everyone would be doing it. Okay. It's not always easy, but the rewards that are waiting for you on the other side once you get that momentum going are amazing. Year 1 is always the hardest. Year 2, it gets a little bit better. By year 3, you're usually able to get your stride and start seeing a real solid career in it. So get past that first year, because that's the toughest. And once you're in year 2, you're going to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And by year 3, just hold on, because you got this.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you again for your time and for all of your expertise that you've shared with us today. I know this is going to be a game changer for someone who hears this story, and so I thank you for that.
Well, I'm glad. I'm very, very honored that you asked me to be a part of your podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, guys, thank you once again for joining us for the Six Figure Real Estate Agent Podcast. Make sure you visit my website, www.nataliecousins.com, for more details and to hear this lovely interview. If you guys are on iTunes, we'd love a ratings on there, guys. So get on iTunes, Google Play, or Podbean, and also help us share these wonderful messages and interviews with any friends or family that are in this game that we call real estate. I'm Natalie Cousins. Join me next time on the Six Figure Real Estate Agent Podcast. Bye for now.